To longtime viewers of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's no news that Ronald McDonald, aka Mac, has a yearning for the Y chromosome, a propensity for penis, and an affinity with abdominal muscles.
Oh, I get it. Cute. You leave this pen here and people are supposed to think, wait, that looks like a dick.
While it's unclear when our favourite Dean of Denial began gunning for guys, by Season 4, Episode 4, Mac's banging the waitress, it becomes obvious to the viewers and the gang that not only is Mac mushy for men, but that he's partial to the posteriors of his perennial partners Charlie and Dennis.
We're gonna do this. The only way it's gonna work is if you're dressed like a man.
Dressed like a man?
You want me to dress like a man?
Yeah. Well, the only way it's really gonna work for me is if you're dressed like Dennis or Charlie.
Well, I should probably dress like Charlie because he's kind of my height.
No, I'm gonna be Charlie. You're gonna be Dennis. That's gonna be much better for me, trust me. I mean, I gotta have you behind me.
What the hell is that all about, man? I don't know.
Now, from here on out, I'm gonna refer to you only as Dennis. When we slip in, you're gonna start banging me, hard.
Okay.
Now the interesting part of that clip isn't the revelation of Mac's poorly held secret, but that Mac's constructed roleplay involved him being penetrated by Dennis, and he explicitly insisted on that dynamic. Perhaps this observation could be written off as a matter of comedic license, or as an inconsequential utterance, if it weren't for the startling amount of evidence outside of this which supports Mac's latent sexual desire for Dennis.
God.
It'd be easy to demonstrate that Mac experiences a difficult and intense attraction to Dennis, but I'm more interested in exploring their relationship as one of personal development and semi-reciprocal romance. I think that sometimes the show likes to single out Mac as being uniquely gay, and portrays him as an isolated unit of sexual confusion. He struggles subconsciously with repressing his desires, and other characters seem not to be factors in his behaviour. Yet, his peers aren't only staging grounds for his experimentation and antics. They're actors who independently exhibit behaviours which affect Mac's perception of self. Mac does not exist in a vacuum, and even without the assumption of Mac's subliminal draw to Dennis in that sort of romantic and sexual manner, Dennis obviously encourages, engages, and develops Mac's desires through their many contrived adventures. Starting the evidence with one of the earliest fleshed out explorations of Mac and Dennis's dynamic in Season 5, Episode 9, Mac and Dennis Break Up, we get to see how the self-proclaimed dynamic duo operate, and in surmising their behaviour, the word codependent springs to the forefront. We learn that Mac and Dennis don't go an hour without checking in with one another, and watch the film Predator almost every Tuesday. Mac won't let Dennis eat apple skins in fear for his health, and Dennis obviously finds security and comfort in Mac's dotage.
No, I'm not gonna peel an apple for you.
But Mac always does it for me.
Why does Mac peel your apples for you?
He doesn't like for me to eat the apples with the skin on it. He says the skin's loaded with toxins.
Okay, well, good news. Mac's not here.
Well, I know he's not here, and that's why I need you to do it for me, please.
Oh, Jesus. Just eat it with the skin
I
on
do
it.
not like it with the skin, Dee. I'm not allowed to eat it with the skin. I'm not allowed!
Oh, my God.
The trouble and the group dynamic that follows after the two separate is so drastic that Dee organizes their reunition. In another episode, it's revealed that Dennis listens to all of Mac's phone calls, and Dennis often provides Mac with the words he needs to express himself.
I'm sorry that I called you codependent, okay? I think you have a great friendship, and it's perfectly natural for two grown men to need each other this badly.
In all areas of their lives, the two rely on one another. They use one another to seduce women systematically. Mac may even realize in Season 6, Episode 1, Mac Fights Gay Marriage, that he should have married Dennis in order to secure their material living position after having been separated from him by Dennis's marriage to Maureen Ponderosa, causing him to completely reverse his religious conviction against gay marriage, something that Mac rarely does as a good Catholic. At this point in our dissection, it should be no shock to learn that Dennis and Mac have monthly dinner dates with one another, and in Season 8, Dennis gives a touching speech.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Thank you.
Dennis and Mac later move to a family home in the suburbs together in season 11, where Mac struggles with the potent combination of homosexual tension and the difficulties of living a life he's not correctly adapted to with Dennis.
He cooked for you, he cleaned for you. In fact, Dennis, everything I do for you.
What are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about everything I do for you, and everything you do for yourself. Calm down.
Don't you tell me to calm down.
Homosexual tension.
Again, how are you not hearing that?
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time!
In season 12, Mac dreams of Dennis kissing him. He presents Dennis a Valentine's Day present, and they act as a couple to tilt the mother of Dennis's son. They very nearly end up sleeping in the same bed as a permanent living arrangement. There's no shortage of evidence of a more complex and meaningful relationship between Dennis and Mac than co-workers and friends, but truly analysing the extent of their potential romantic involvement is difficult, as their tensions aren't resolved by the end of season 12. Mac and Dennis are at the very least close companions. They live together and spend a disproportionate amount of time with one another. They're intensely familiar as a couple. Where Mac goes, Dennis goes. Dennis is obviously aware of Mac's attraction to him following his eavesdropping in season 4, episode 4, and he doesn't discourage it slightly. Dennis regularly appears unclothed to Mac and encourages him to embrace his homosexuality. An interesting decision for the never altruistic, lightly sociopathic, plotting narcissist that is Dennis. Dennis is an avid explorer of his own sexual reality and has proven himself more than willing to transgress heterosexual norms, cross-dressing, and in season 8 and episode 7, almost trying to have sex with a small Asian boy. Surely the response of many after watching a video like this would be, stop making a fuss about this, it's just a comedy, the writers never intended this, but it speaks volume of the quality of a show like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that we're compelled to explore the psychological realities of its characters despite that not necessarily being the show's intent. The writing and production of It's Always Sunny is sufficiently fantastic that we feel compelled to explore and discuss issues of sexuality, romance, and companionship through its characters despite their purpose being primarily to make us laugh. Returning to the title question of this video, we're left wondering if Mac's desire for men was first informed, triggered, or amplified by Dennis, given their long-standing relationship and the prevalence of homoromantic and homoerotic themes. According to the It's Always Sunny Wikia, Dennis and Mac spent all of high school together under the bleachers getting high, and so it's certainly possible that the amount of time they spent together, or perhaps some inebriated exploration, might have influenced Mac's desires. We also know that Dennis was sexually active from a young age, increasing that possibility. It's worth looking at how the community itself sees Mac and Dennis. The answer sits atop of the Wikia page for their relationship. Dennis and Mac are best friends, life partners, and roommates. Regardless of what configuration that takes, I think we can all agree that it's a heartwarming, titillating, and hilarious relationship.